Hello, welcome back to another episode of Coming Out. I am your host, Gabriel Paez. Today we have Rey Sordo with us. He is a Florida House District 119 candidate for the Democratic Party. Welcome, Rey. Great to have you here today, and let's hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Why are you running?
Great to be here. Thank you, Gabriel. Nice to meet you.
Likewise, very much so.
Yeah, it feels like every day I wake up, I've got to say this to everybody, but I don't tire of saying it. I'm running because of the people around me. I've grown up in this community, and I've seen what's happened to the very people who were supposed to stay and live here being pushed out by the very people who are supposed to look after us, the government. And I feel like our voices have been put in the back burner of all kinds, all creeds and backgrounds, and just been ignored and rather focused on dividing us instead of building us up. They're breaking us down. So it's something that I think that somebody has to stand up and fight and scream from the rooftops. And if it's me, it's me. And I've got a wonderful team of people behind me, and I'll speak for everybody who wants to join this team. So
awesome. So you're from this area. You were born and raised in Miami, yes. Country Walk area. Is that what I hear?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay. You know, that area is very HOA driven.
Yeah.
A lot of, organized crime has been happening there, to say the least.
Yeah.
What is your take on those issues?
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up to Cuban parents, so I've heard my fair share of organized crime here in Miami and how it goes down. However, it's across the board where you have bad actors who behave in bad faith, right? That's not the rule, but it is a given. And when it comes to HOAs, we definitely have some folks that need to be taken out. We definitely need to fight for stronger oversight and definitely allow a stronger voice for the homeowners to be able to not only just be on the same page with their board, but also be able to be made aware there needs to be stronger, notices for the homeowners. For me, it's not about destroying HOAs. I don't believe that they're a failed experiment, as some have called them, but rather they're broken down pieces that we need to analyze and see what's going on, and then fight for not just the homeowners, but also the good people on the boards, because there are good boards out there. So, it's about looking at what works and what doesn't, and then taking an approach that is a multifaceted solution to multifaceted problems. Not just destroying it, not just saying it doesn't work, and then leaving it to the wild, wild west kind of attitude, washing our hands of it and walking away. I think people deserve more than that.
And you said that I was reading one of your aspects also, and you said it, is the affordability crisis that we our present youth has no hope of staying within their own community. So you're being priced out of where you were born and raised.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Where do we go? And I'm glad you said hope, because I think it's a really big piece of everything is just hope. We were raised in the Sunshine State. Our future seemed sunny, and now it just seems shady and cloudy. And it's because we haven't really been given the time or respect or the thought of our leaders, of our government. And for affordability, when I talk about, a future we can afford, it's like I always say, it's not just financially, but it's spiritually too. Being able to take pride in your community and having your community take pride in you. And that's been lacking severely, because instead of, again, on investing in our communities in a meaningful way, we're just renaming roads or creating bills to further villainize our residents. How can we work together or take a step forward if we're focused on destroying ourselves? So for a future that we can afford, it's not just affordability or livability, but people are surviving right now. They're not even affording or living, they're surviving.
Right.
Barely that.
I read somewhere also that the majority of the population in Miami-Dade County is like 2 paychecks away from being homeless. Yeah. And that's really could be devastating, because like 2 paychecks is just a month away
or less.
Yeah. Or less.
Yeah.
Depending on what you get paid. So I mean, for me, that's concerning. I'm glad I'm not on that side of the spectrum, but I still feel for those individuals that can't go anywhere else,
right,
are priced out, and they're 2 paychecks away.
Right. And when we talk about silly little things like household items, like why are we not working on bringing down household item taxes, or just silly little things that people can't go by without? And it's like you said, 2 months away, 2 weeks away from being homeless. I think it's a dereliction of duty from government. I think it's a failure on their end, and it shows how they've put the people on the back burner, and people deserve more.
The timing that really that we've been under the same system, a one-party system in Tallahassee for the past 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Some say 20, some say 30. Let's be in the middle.
Sure, yeah, as we like to be.
Let's be conservative, 25.
Yeah.
Things haven't worked out. So how do you change the mindset of a district constituents? How do you show that to them?
It's very easy, Gabriel. I think it's about electing the right people. It's about owing us a person who actually understands what it is to work day in and day out for the bread that we put on the table. Not somebody who was picked, groomed, and selected by career politicians to become a career politician, but rather somebody who knows what it is to break a sweat to earn $1 and put food on the table. A worker. The people deserve a worker, somebody who knows what it is for their families and their parents to give everything, not for a silver spoon, for their share of work and life. As a Latino and as a man of faith, one thing has been constant throughout my life is we work for what we get. We don't take things easy, and so far politicians have gotten exactly that. They've had their lives handed to them because they've joined the right clubs or they know the right people, and instead of working for it, that's what we need right now. Somebody who understands what it is to suffer for their life here in Miami. Most of our constituents, if not all, rise with the sun or rise before the sun to get to work and get home at 8 p.m. So why are our constituents working harder than our elected representatives? It's in the name and title and description, represent. So how can you truly represent when you don't know what it is to be a working man, to be a Miami man, a Miami woman? We're all entrepreneurs here. We all work our butts off to have a slice of the American dream. And yet our politicians get to just slide in and take the easy route? No, absolutely not.
And it seems like, the mafia just keeps on going, so
mafia.
It's just like, same last name. Let's put him back in.
Yeah.
And you're working against a candidate that you are the official candidate for the Democrats already.
I'm happy to say, and not just the Democrats, but anybody in Miami who believes we can build a brighter future regardless of party. We put people first.
Amen on that one. But you are the official candidate.
Yes.
Now you're faced with an opponent that really is worried about everything else outside his district.
I agree. Right now, he's focused on the gubernatorial campaign. He hasn't campaigned for this district not one single day. He hasn't campaigned against me at all, which I love. By all means, take your eyes off the prize, the people, and focus on the pretty little prizes you're getting from your corporate friends and your governmental friends. It shows the kind of mentality that our leadership has led in Tallahassee for the last couple of years on the stepping stones that they've treated this office instead of a tool to help the working class people who are now more than ever suffering and being pushed out of their homes.
And this is a shot against him because I'm gonna bring it out. I just love how he represents West Kendall, and he was supporting the water theme park in Fontainebleau on Miami Beach.
Right.
Why was he doing that?
Well, because there's one thing. There's action, and then there's just talk, right? There's pretty words, pretty bills, and a whole bunch of motion, but then there's actual solutions. We're not providing solutions. If we look at who's funding what and we follow the money, we know exactly why he was supporting that, right? We have to follow the money. Is he raising a grassroots campaign where the community believes in him and is donating to him? Or is it a Tallahassee-funded campaign? Or is it a campaign funded by the very same insurance companies that he refuses to legislate
against?
Right, exactly. Right. Because he's had on his website and he's had 2 terms in office in this limelight to work on insurance, and not yet one bill carries his name on insurance. So I ask you why, and we all know why. It's the same thing throughout the country, but it starts again with electing people who understand what it is to sacrifice. And going back to priorities really quickly, while he's busy renaming roads, and that's his top priority for the 2026 legislative session, which in Florida, we only have 60 days to legislate. 60 days to legislate, picture that. And the sole main first focus is to rename roads instead of revitalizing roads, to bring people back to their homes, back to their families, time lost on traffic, or even just planting more trees for Abuelita in the park or the kids playing around.
And not only that, but he also likes to preempt authority from
The local
the local
government,
municipalities.
yeah.
Again, he's a state rep. I respect for what he has, but he's in West Kendall. Why is he imposing on Miami Beach? Has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like you say, follow the money. It leads to that, and that for me is like a no-brainer. You have to show proof of what you've done for your district, not working against another district
I agree.
for your benefit.
Yeah.
So that differentiates you from him, right?
I
hope so.
well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would ask the people around me, take a measure of my character, and for me, I think it's pretty clearly. Apologies. Very clearly that, at the end of the day, I'm a local son. I'm the son of workers who, my mother still rises before 5 a.m. to feed the construction workers and keep us going. My father's hands are all scarred with the work that he's put in. That's evidence of what he's brought to this country. And for me, it's being a local son of the people, rather a son of Tallahassee, a son of big money, and a son of big government. Because aren't Republicans and the conservatives supposed to be the party of small government? Why am I more small government than my conservative opponent? Why are we overreaching into local municipalities or giving out blanket bills that just treat Florida as one giant monster when we know Miami-Dade itself is a county of a variety of municipalities, self-governed cities, and whatnot?
Yeah, there's 34 municipalities. There's diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout, and he's voting against his own people.
Yeah, and then it's not just that, but it's more so, why are we not doing more for the people? We live right next to the Everglades, for God's sakes. My district borders the Everglades. We've got the Everglades to the left and society to the right. Why are we not doing more to protect our future? If you are a first Gen Z candidate or representative in the state house, then why are you not speaking on Gen Z's behalf? Why are you not reflecting and resonating with Gen Z? That's my biggest issue as well. Young people need to have a seat at the table. But my thing is, and I've said it all throughout this week, are we even going to have a table left to sit at? Is the table still going to be there? Are the Everglades really going to be there when we grow up? It's a singular ecosystem. So.
And that is concerning.
Extremely so.
That you say that. I
Extremely
mean,
so.
Listening to you say, do we even have a table to even sit that? Because on my behalf, I usually used to bring myself and put the chair at the table, but at least there was a table.
Right.
Now there might not be.
It
one.
might not even be there. And for us, if we were grown to believe we were the future. In Florida, when we were growing up under FCAT and the Bush governorship, we were the future. We were supposed to take the reins and have the tools handed to us. But the tools have not just been dropped down, they've been completely thrown away or hidden from us on purpose. We've been told we're not educated enough. We don't have enough degrees. We aren't connected enough. We don't have enough experience. And yet we're supposed to take the reins when the time is right. When is that time? Is there going to be, even forget the table, is there going to be a room left for us to walk into? So that's why I believe that we have to start now, today, not tomorrow, but today, to have a tomorrow.
And that also goes with like sustainability in your environment, because you're, like you said, you border the Everglades, right? Does your district go into the Everglades? That doesn't really matter, but it borders it.
So it might as well, because a lot of the councils, a lot of the councilmen that I've been speaking to, actually with the zoning issues, which are huge, deal with that and the development line on the Everglades. And time and time again, they've had to fight tooth and nail to stop developers from encroaching into the Everglades, whether it be for
moving that line
little by little, and ever so shrinking the Everglades. And what are we doing here, folks? Why do we not have pride in our great state and the beauty that's around us? Another thing, the Conservative Party likes to parade themselves as the party of faith. My faith has taught me that God put us on this green blue earth with our two hands and our brain to be the caretakers of life around us. And that includes the people, the land, the water, and the animals. So why are we doing everything we can to not just neglect them, but actively hurt them? And that shows we're not even thinking about the future, right? Shouldn't we be protecting our youngest generations first and foremost? Isn't that what society is all about?
Totally, and I am glad that you bring up faith because we're always labeled, as Democrats, we're always labeled either communists or socialists,
Atheists.
atheists, exactly. So, I'm glad that you have faith as one of
Absolutely.
your foundations or
Absolutely.
your pillars.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more how that has instituted your belief in what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, not only do I see it every single day, which my friends might have seen me become a little bit more overzealous with my faith lately, because every single day I see a new evidence that the Lord is on our side, that His hand is on our shoulder, and He is pushing us forward because of the insane success my campaign has had in just 4 weeks. We just started this 4 weeks ago. Nobody had any intention of running. I've never been a political man myself. Half of my team never even voted before or ever believed in government, and yet we're coming together to build a brighter future ourselves. We're not waiting to be handed it, but we're building it ourselves day by day, brick by brick. And, that has to do with how the Lord, for me, has looked over us, protected us, but also given us the tools to fight for ourselves. In history, we've seen we can't just sit around. What's that proverb? A man was drowning and the Lord sent a couple folks his way, and he just kept telling them, I'm waiting for the Lord to save me. And he said, well, Jim, I sent 4 people to save you. Right? So it's up to us to take notice of those tools, of those avenues, and take charge, right? Bust the door down. And that's what we're doing. We're busting that door down.
And it's great to see that generation like yours taking the reign, because I'm all about succession planning.
Yeah.
And we need to really have a plan for the future, and seeing you gives me hope again that we're on the right path and we're on the right track. And seeing that you have faith really solidifies my belief in you.
Wow, thank you.
So yeah, I wish you really much success on this campaign. Tell us what would be your first priority when you get to Tallahassee?
For me, it's gosh, there's so many things I want to tackle.
I know there's a lot. There's a lot.
So much to do, so much to fix, and so much to fight against, which is something I hate to even say out loud. I believe we shouldn't be taking a step to the left or a step to the right, but 2 steps forward. And for me, my biggest thing would be, my focus would be just finding a middle ground with my folks across the aisle, and just focusing on common sense legislation that everybody can agree on, that it won't fail. My opponent with his stranglehold, his party stranglehold on Tallahassee, has, for the most part, his bills have died in the Senate with his own party, and it's because of the partisanship. It's because of the focus on policy over people, or politics over people, where we should be putting people first. So it's common sense things that I feel like we can fight for. But again, I'm going to have my hands full fighting against all the partisan stuff, right? All the things that are just taking the focus off the people but putting it on party.
If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I am wrong, but he also was one of the ones pushing to ban all the flags from being flown in governmental buildings. So of course, being the activist that I am, when you come and mess with the LGBTQ, you're messing with me.
Look,
so he wanted to get rid of that flag.
The way I see it is yeah, I mean, me as a gay man, I happen to be gay, and I'm very proud of that. I don't hide that.
And we shouldn't. Why should we hide it?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm gay as well, too, and I'm proud of who I am.
However, at the very core of who I am, an American and a child of God and a son of my family, and throughout all those identities, one thing remains the same: the belief that we should be able to pursue, right, like our founding fathers say, pursue the freedom and happiness that is every American's entitlement, right? And the fact that we have to say that we have to not be hidden or be proud of who we are, or that we have to fight for our freedom to be who we are, to me is a failure on our government's end. We're not focused on American values, and we're now making in a convoluted sense of some partisanship, tribalism instead of true American values and core beliefs that founded this nation. Our founding fathers today would be disgusted with how we treat each other.
I really do think Hamilton would have been devastated.
Beyond himself.
Yeah, and my other one, Madison would have been as well, you know.
These are men who they realized their own limitations because of their era, but they were able to reach their arm back into history, grab all the best parts of humanity, and also reach forward into the future and understand that we are a nation of change, which is why they allowed for amendments and they allowed for the ability for the evolving of the Constitution, our very founding doctrine. You know?
Yes.
So again, it goes to the fact that we're trying to punish people for who they are. As long as they don't hurt other folks, we've lost the plot. We've lost who we are as America, and especially in Miami, Florida, we're a melting pot of different cultures, variety of creeds, backgrounds, beliefs, and races.
And I want to take you to Senate Bill 1134. Senate Bill 1134 is anti-DEI.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that even mean? Like,
it means that we will not be able to highlight Black History Month,
yeah,
Hispanic Heritage Month,
yeah,
Asian Pacific Heritage Month, Haitian Heritage Month, LGBTQ Pride Month. So, I mean, we talk about Miami. His own district is overwhelming majority minority.
Yeah.
And he comes and votes in favor of an anti-DEI bill.
Anti-people.
I just don't get how our own representatives and senators, because, hey, Ana Maria Rodriguez, another one.
Mm-hmm.
She voted for it. I mean, the only one that didn't vote it was Catalayu, which my hat goes out to her. You know?
Yeah.
Seriously,
I mean,
we need to really study these bills and see the impact that it's going to have on our people, and how can they vote against themselves?
Yeah, and listen, and the way I see it is, it always goes to the top, right? When I'm a small business owner, and if my department fails, it's not the employees that bear the brunt of the blame, but more so the leader. Right?
Of course.
And it starts that way and it ends that way. And the fact that our leaders don't see these people as human beings deserving of dignity is alarming. I'm pretty sure dignity is enshrined in the Constitution of the United States.
You know, and it's just so unfair that, you know, that just so because they want to blend in, number one, also and profit from the system, is that they're going against these votes, because then they're coming in and they're like, oh no, I regret having voted.
I just feel like we get lost in the arguments, and it shouldn't even be arguments, but we get lost in our debates and conversation, where at the end of the day we just need to look at the simple truth, right? Like you said, our district is made up of Asian Pacific, of Haitian, of Latinos, of all countries, of all kinds of folks. That's our district, that's our city, that's our state. And when you have the government legislating against those very same people, so where is the breakdown there? The breakdown is that it's no longer government of, by, and for the people.
Right.
That's the breakdown. So how do we fix that? We go out and vote. How do we fix that? We educate ourselves on what it is that our representatives are actually doing and go out and vote. Because that's how we make a difference, is we vote and we show up, and not just on election day, but today. Right? Join a campaign that's actually cleaning up the parks. Join a campaign that is actually helping feed folks who are unhoused. Join a group and a nonprofit organization that is making a difference. We have to bring it back to community. That's what my campaign's about. Bringing it back to community, about the people.
And to being together, and together we'll win, you know.
Together. Like I said, not a step to the left, not a step to the right, but 2 steps forward is the only way America will move forward. We're getting left behind, whether it's transportation, infrastructure, our environmental protections, our youth, our education, our affordability, our housing, our cars, everything. We're getting left behind, folks, because they're busy renaming streets, or they're busy villainizing you and calling you a radical for wanting a better life in America, of all places. The United States of America. So far, it's not so united, but it's up to us to make it so. So,
as we come to a close, it's obvious that Florida's House District 119 has a chance to make a difference, and with Rey, it has the opportunity to make that change. I wish you the very best. talk here to your camera here and send that message to your folks who are just anxious to get you elected.
I'm fighting for the folks who haven't had a voice. If you believe politics or government can't work for you, I want to speak to you. I will prove you wrong in the best of ways, because together we will build a future that we can live in, we can stay in, we can afford, both financially and spiritually. I'm the voice for those who have been forgotten, the unheard majority in Miami, and together our voice will be louder. Join me now, rayforflorida.org, anytime.
Thank you again. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you,
And
Gabriel.
on that note, we'll see you next time.
Yes.